Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Dylan Hearn, and today I will be talking to you guys about equitable remedies that we have available to tort litigation here in Arizona. Here in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the key differences between legal and equitable remedies and give you a little history on how equitable remedies develop some examples, remedies courts use today, and I'll finish off with two Arizona cases where courts relied on equality to reach fair outcomes. My goal is to show you how equality gives the flexibility to ensure justice when money alone isn't enough. In tort law, we often talk about remedies as if they're all the same, but there is an important distinction. Legal remedies are the classic money damages that we usually see. Usually they're punitive or normal damage designed to put the injured party in a financial position. They would be in the absent, the wrong. For example, if someone was rear-ended in a car crash, the court would award them the repair of the cost, their medical bills. If they were out of work for a certain amount of time, they would reward them that amount of money that they missed for work, medical bills, and to repair their car. On the other hand, when it comes to equitable remedies, step in, money doesn't always make things right. It's about fairness. It gives the court discretion to order someone to act or stop acting in the way that restores balance. Think about a situation where continuing to harm would happen without a court order. Pollution, property rights violations, or misuse of confidential information. In those cases, an injunction or specific performance is much more powerful than just a check in the mail. And equitable remedies are also used for restraining orders in civil cases and stuff like that, where legal remedies wouldn't suffice. Here is a brief history of equitable remedies. Equitable remedies trace back to the medieval England era, where the rigid common law system often left people without relief in their situations and didn't fit nearly into a case of action. To address this, people petitioned the king and the chancellor at the time to see, as the keeper of consensus, develop remedies based on fairness, not strict legal rules. When the U.S. adopted this system, law were initially separated. Arizona, like most states, has merged and the procedures, so we don't have to separate equalities in the court system anymore. But this substantial difference remains alive. A judge still decides whether to grant the relief, and juries generally don't decide equitable issues. That separation matters, especially in tort law, where fairness can be just as important as financial compensation. So unlike legal remedies, equitable remedies don't really have juries in most cases. Examples of equitable remedies are injunctions. So an injunction is a court order to stop or require an action. A common example is ordering a business to stop polluting a neighborhood or a neighbor to remove a fence built on your property line. So let's say you had a property and someone just expanded the garage, but it passes your property line. You could take them to court and get an equitable remedy to have them go take down that additional addition to their house because it is built on your property line and not theirs. Another example is a specific performance, more common in contract cases, but in tort adjustment matters, courts can order someone to follow through with unique obligations. For example, convening a piece of land where damages would not substitute. So you were supposed to buy a piece of land, and there's a bunch of people holding you back. The legal system can make them go forth with that sale. Then restitution and disgorgement. These remedies are more about stripping away ill-gotten gains. If a party has profited through fraud, the court can order them to give back profits, not just compensate for them for the losses. That's usually taking advantage of children or the elderly. That's usually when those equitable remedies would come in. And then constructive trust. This is when property was acquired through wrongful conduct. The court may declare a wrongful trustee, enforcing them to hold the property for the benefit of the rightful owner. Sometimes if somebody forced them into a will or a trustee account when they weren't in the right mindset or something like that, then the family can sue and make sure that that stuff goes to the proper family. Now going into the Arizona court cases that dealt with equitable remedies. The first court case that we're going to talk about is Spur Industries Incorporated versus Del Webb Development. I think most of us in Arizona know about Del Webb Development. They've built most of the houses in Arizona, especially in the valley. But this court case, this case is a classic in both tort and property law. Spur Industries ran a cattle feedlot right outside of Phoenix. As Del Webb's Sun City retirement community grew, the feedlot became a public nuisance with flies and odors, and Del Webb sued for an injunction to shut it down. The Arizona Supreme Court granted the injunction, but recognized the fairness and required balance. Del Webb had to essentially come to the nuisance, so the court ordered Spur to shut down, but required Del Webb to indemnify Spur for the cost. They made them pay Spur's cost of shutting down. That's the equality in the action, tailoring the remedy to a balance of public interest, private rights, and fairness between the parties. So making sure that Del Webb's communities, number one, their properties aren't getting overran by the smell of cow manure and the odors that are being produced, and the houses aren't getting overran by flies. But at the same time, you got to make sure everything is equitable and equal between both parties. So the Arizona Supreme Court made them pay for the closing costs, and they also made them give them some extra money to move the business to another part of town in Arizona. Case number 2 is Murdoch Bryant Construction versus Pearson. In this case, a subcontractor claimed fraud in a breach against a contractor and sought restitution. The trial court not only awarded damages, but also imposed an equitable restitution remedy, ensuring the contractor return unjust enrichment. The Arizona Supreme Court upheld restitution and attorney's fees. This showed how the courts can use equitable remedies like restitution alongside legal damages to prevent unjust gains, especially where fraud or bad faith were in play. So here in this case, Murdoch Bryan Constructions v. Pearson. So Pearson was the big contractor for these houses and like malls going up in Arizona back in the 1985s. And Murdoch Bryan Constructions wasn't holding up their end of the bargain, and they were just taking the money from Pearson and not following through. And so Pearson put an injunction against Murdoch Bryan Constructions. And so Arizona Supreme Court found them guilty in court of doing this, and not only made them pay back the money that Pearson gave them to be the subcontractor for these houses and shopping centers, but also made them pay for their court fees, and they weren't allowed to be a subcontractor anymore in Arizona because they don't want any more bad business going around. So it's kind of a legal remedy and an equitable remedy at the same time. And then, so this basically closes up equitable remedies versus legal remedies for us. So to wrap up, equitable remedies in Arizona tort law stand apart from legal remedies because they're not about money. They're about fairness, prevention, and restoring balance. From injunctions that stop ongoing harm to restitution that strips away wrongful profits, equality allows our courts to respond flexible in unique situation. Cases like Spur Industries and Murdoch Bryant reminds us that Arizona and equitable remedies continues to play a vital role in ensuring justice. Again, thank you guys for your time. I'd be glad to take any questions now.